Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? It is Sunday night. It is the very last night of the NFL preseason, and your boys for ASAP are back. I got Mike on the mic from Chi-Town itself. Mike, what's up, brother?
Man, you know, always down for another show with you.
Man, I love it. Down for all the love that's here right now. And then I got...
Y'all can't be setting me up like this, yo. Y'all do this on purpose to set me up. And then everyone's going to be like, why is he laughing like that? And then I can't say the context. So I hate you guys expeditiously. Okay? And not exponentially. I'm talking expeditiously because this hate is coming at you fast. Right? Not like, you know, those who are... Yo, God bless New Zealand, man.
Anyway, and we also got the man bun himself in Pride with day 13 of the man bun Pride. How are you, man? How is the life?
You know, it's up. You know, it's up. I'm learning new things every day. Tony, you educate me on some stuff. Gotta get Netflix back. Gotta get Netflix back at this point.
I'm so glad, man. I have been so down to be a teacher for so many years, man. I'm so glad I can just help and just spread the love any way that I can, bro.
Yeah. I'm glad. You know, hey, don't spread it too much now. Don't spread it too much now.
Super down.
Double down. We'll put it that way.
By the way,
I just think you're the perfect model for it.
Just letting y'all know, I can help you guys out.
Yeah?
I can help you guys out. So if you guys are in any need of, if you believe you're unattractive or something, I can help you.
And I'm so glad you got some tips for me. But let's go ahead and get into the big news that obviously took place yesterday. The number 3 overall pick in the 2021 draft that the San Francisco 49ers traded up to get Trey Lance gets traded to, of all places, the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. Mike, I'm going to start with you. We knew Trey Lance was going to get traded, but did you expect Dallas to be the place he was going to get traded to? And what's your overall thoughts on it?
No, I really didn't. One, I didn't expect them the way they meat ride Dak Prescott. I really didn't expect that. I didn't at all. I thought it was very interesting. Was it Geiler or Giller lost his job to that?
Will Greer.
Will Greer, whatever. Hey, see, Pride, I tried twice, didn't get either of them. But
oh god,
whatever.
I hate my life.
Kyle, but you know. Potato, tomato, whatever. Anyways, getting back to trash. I don't think it makes any sense for the San Francisco 49ers to make this move at this point in time. And I also don't think it really did anything for the Dallas Cowboys other than kind of make Dak feel uncomfortable. I want to say, you know, in Jerry's mind, he probably sees it as lighting a fire underneath Dak and kind of making him feel a little uncomfortable and a little uncertain because, you know, the conversation, Pride, I got to say Pride because, Tony, you're a part of the problem. I love you, but you are. The conversation is always Cowboy fans thinking they're going to the Super Bowl every single year. And that is the standard. That is the standard that they always hold themselves to. At least they try to. They don't do well, but they try to. And, you know, Dak really hasn't been able to do that for them. So I definitely get it from a trying to get Dak to figure out his ish kind of thing. But I think you went about it the wrong way. I really think you took the wrong guy. You know, with a free agency full of star quarterbacks, with the Chicago Bears even picking up an undrafted free agent, Tyson Bagent, who looks incredible. You went after Trey Lance, who in 4 years has played 4 games. Really 3 and 2 minutes because he played 1 game against the Bears and broke his ankle. Like I don't. It's crazy, but I don't hate it for Dallas. I really don't. I think for a 4th round pick, looking what San Fran gave up, 3 first round picks for a guy who played 4 games and what you got back was a 4th round pick is absolutely insane. And you look at that, and those players that were those picks turned out to be Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. So, congratulations. I hope that 4th round pick is the next Tom Brady.
They missed out on players like J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Micah Parsons, all of them followed him.
Justin Fields, Mac Jones. I mean, come on. Like,
what was that last thing we said?
Mac Jones. Justin Fields.
All right, settle down.
2 quarterbacks that the entire and first of all, Pride and I are bowing down to the knees of Tony because he's our college guy. Yes. At what point was Trey Lance better than Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, never. Like I argued like immediately when I first the 2 picks that I were like, okay, they're back to back, they're going to be busts. That was Zach Wilson and Trey Lance both, because Zach Wilson was at BYU. BYU didn't face any type of top tier competition. Anytime he did face a ranked opponent, he almost always lost when it came to Zach Wilson. And then Trey Lance, it's like he didn't even really have a full college season under his belt before COVID hit.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, we think the potential's there. Like, there's a lot of raw overall talent that we can work with. But yeah, it's like when I saw Zach Wilson go second, I'm like, okay, it's the 49ers. They're going to pick either Fields, Mac, or Lance. And then I thought Mac and Lance both had 2 workouts with the 49ers both, and I was like, oh, so they're probably going to take Mac Jones. Like, they're going to be fine. And then they take Lance, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you taking the dude with the quote unquote most raw talent, but you don't have anything to really go off of?
Right.
Then on top of it, everybody I keep seeing says, oh, he never really had a chance. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Like, no. They let him sit his rookie year, let him learn, kind of get used to the pros. Don't toss him into the wolves, feed him to the fire type deal. Well, then that's when they're like, you know what? Trey is gonna be our guy. We're trading Jimmy. And then we kind of heard the trade rumors start to die down a little bit. Like, maybe we're not going to trade Jimmy. Like, he's not doing so great in camp. He's not doing so great in preseason. We're going to keep Jimmy as our backup. We're going to make Jimmy a really good, highly paid backup. That to me right there showed it's like, all right, he's had a whole year in that system, a whole off season, and he's not getting it. With one of, not the, but one of the master offensive minds in the game. Like, everybody copies their offense off of Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid, and he can't make him work. But now all of a sudden, mayonnaise Mike McCarthy is going to be able to tap Trey Lance's potential, and he's going to be like the best, third string quarterback in the NFL, which is crazy to me. Pride, what's your thoughts? Because CBS Sports actually has this listed as the number 1 worst trade bigging an actual player, like the Herschel Walker trade, if you know what I mean. Like, they just traded picks to be able to get him. They labeled it as the number 1 worst trade pick in NFL history.
So I just want to come out and say this. I have been anti-Trey Lance just as much as Hitler was anti-Jews.
Wow.
I've been against this piece of fucking garbage since day one. Never liked him. Never rocked with him. And if I were to see him in the streets, I would say such. I wouldn't hit him because he's still kind of big, so he'll beat me up. But I will cross the street and yell from the other side of the street, I hate you. Okay. Bump the kid. I've never seen anybody just be as mediocre and just imagine being super athletic, being able to run, jump as tall as the day is long, and you're still generic. Let that sink in. you're special, like your attributes are special, but you're generic in every way, shape, or form. You can't throw the ball past 5 yards because then it's like a helicopter. And then every time you do it and you realize people are looking at you like you can't throw it, the kid, I don't know if y'all seen any of his the training camp stuff. He'll throw a ball and then he'll go, ooh, my shoulder. Huh? No, my eyes, because I need to pour bleach in them. Because every time you step on a field, it's disrespectful. I want to get a belt and beat him. Okay? I really do. And Kyle Shanahan, you're a piece of doo-doo in a bloody butt because you knew the kid was a bust. Yeah, you thought maybe I could trade, maybe I can make something of him. No. They did all the stuff they needed to do to trade him, and they put everything. And before people says that whole thing, he never had the opportunity. He did. He sold it out. Yep. Don't blame me that I'm not giving this kid an ample opportunity to try to figure it out when the kid has had how long to figure it out, and for some unknown reason, the kid can't hack it. Let's be honest. They've been trying to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for how long? And the sole reason why they kept Jimmy Garoppolo for as long as they did was because Trey Lance he wasn't worth a lick. Man wasn't worth a lick. Don't even get me started on this hairline. Don't even get me started there. Right?
Well, and think about this too. You took a dude that, you know, he's with the San Francisco 49ers, a team that was literally able to take in Mr. Irrelevant.
Stop. Bring that up. Bring that comment up, because I'm about to bring that comment up. Bring that last one up. This is how I know for a fact that you clearly do not understand context. Because with Alex Smith, they had years to wait and develop him. They had years, and when they took Alex Smith, they knew it was going to be a project. When they took Trey Lance, there was 2 things that they said. This kid is going to be ready post his rookie year. As soon as his rookie year is done, this kid is going to be ready. And 2, he was going to lead us to wins. So don't even try to compare that. You cannot compare that. You can't compare a situation with Alex Smith when they had time and they knew he was going to be a project and they told him you have plenty of time, compared to them trading up to the 3rd overall pick or the 2nd overall pick. Whichever it was, doesn't matter. It was still doo-doo in the butt. Mm-hmm. And you taking this kid, even though everything about him was raw, giggity, you still try to feed us, oh yeah, this kid's going to lead us to the promised land. Yeah, the never promised land, you fucking bozos. I don't give a shit about monetization right now, bro. Fuck this kid. Fucking dog shit.
I will say, too, though, what does it say about Trey Lance, the fact that they were able to take Mr. Irrelevant, the very last pick in the NFL draft from Iowa State? Kyle Shanahan can take this kid, basically make him go undefeated as a starter, that he started a game and actually was able to finish the whole entire game. He won every single game, and he's able to become within 1 game of the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, and he can't do it with his number 3 overall pick.
Mike. My bad, Prep. A big part of that is, first, I watched a lot of Purdy, spending a lot of time in Iowa. I've watched him a lot. And you kind of always knew he had that dog in him. You always knew he was going to be able to be something if he was ever given that opportunity, at least from my eyes. You know, I'm not going to sit out here and say I thought he could be a franchise quarterback, because that would just be a lie. Right. But, you know, when you saw this kid go to the 49ers, you said, hey, you know what? That's honestly the perfect situation. You know, and it's one of those situations to where, kind of like Tom Brady, you know, ended up going up to New England, and you end up having Bill Belichick, and you know that they're going to put together great pieces for whatever quarterback is in play in that system, because they respect the quarterback position. So when you see that, you say, listen, the only thing that's going to keep that kid from going in this year's draft is the fact that he played at Iowa State, the place that doesn't give a single shit about any athletic school or any athletic program in the entire world. Iowa just does not care about anything. You thought Illinois sports were bad. I mean, golly. But with that, I think with Trey Lance, there was so much raw talent, the Patrick Mahomes comparisons and everything else that went into it. But him not playing in the COVID season, and I even forget whether that was his choice or just because the season.
No, it was his choice.
Yeah, because I feel like they played, but I don't remember. It feels like forever ago. But I feel like you have those kind of same conversations we had about Mitchell Trubisky, and we're having those same conversations right now about Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, to where you only have 1 season to really base it off. And guys like Patrick Mahomes, guys like Justin Fields, Mac Jones fall into the draft because maybe they maybe for whatever reason you just didn't think they were going to pan out, and they always bank on the kid who comes from a random school in Baylor or BYU or Iowa State, wherever, and you have these conversations, and it's like, oh yeah, well I have 1 year of great film, but then you completely ignore the fact that this kid wasn't anything prior, and he's probably not going to be anything further because you didn't check any of the negatives. You just looked at the arm, you looked at the talent. He has the arm, he has the talent. So does Johnny Manziel, and there's a reason there's a Netflix documentary on him right now and not a Super Bowl documentary on him right now because he is who he is, and people did not take that into account. But it's definitely something for me, Pride, where it's like, man, I mean, what can we even say? I'm not totally upset with Trey, and I can give my reason why when I look at the 3 years. You know, the first year is your rookie year, so I'm really not going to kill you, bro. I'm really not going to kill you because you didn't even play. Jimmy Garoppolo had already gone to a Super Bowl, already gone to a conference championship, all these other things in play. You got to sit because you didn't even play your senior year in college. So, like, I get that. Is that fair?
No. Him saying his rookie year, I'm with it.
Right. Yeah. And then you look at last year, first game of the year, you break your ankle. So I'm not upset about that year at all either from a production standpoint because it's like, you know, you can't anticipate that. One, if you guys remember, that Bears game was a tsunami at Soldier Field, and the field looked horrible. The field was fucked up. My whole basement flooded. We all remember that episode when on Touchdown Crew when I came on and I was in a foot of water. Felt like Jack in Titanic when that bitch wouldn't let him get on the board. But
no, there's more than enough room.
I said what I said, and you know what? It's one of those things where it's like you look at Trey Lance and you say year 3 was everything, and year 3 was going to be everything. But to not even look good with the starters was just a huge issue. Coming off of UCL surgery for Brock Purdy, the man broke his fucking elbow. Like, let's be real, his throwing elbow, and he looks 10 times better than you right now. He looks 10 times more poised. He looks 10 times more comfortable. He understands the touchdowns.
And not only that, Sam Darnold looks good.
That's my problem. This is why I don't give Trey Lance any mercy. Because when you saw him play, the kid looked scared. He didn't know what he was doing. He looked literally like I shouldn't even be here type of deal. And then you have Sam Darnold, who came from the Jets, and the Jets moved on from him because he looked horrible. Then there was whole state in Carolina. Some people are gonna say it was because of the talent he had, etc., etc. My thing is there were a lot of throws that Sam Darnold should have made, and he's constantly over or underthrowing multiple guys, and he just did not look comfortable. You get beat out by a dude who was on the verge of being cut from the league in Sam Darnold. Once you do that, bro, hold your L. Fucking bozo.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was there for the 49ers versus Raiders game, like one of the very first preseason games that the Raiders and 49ers played, and Lance started the game. And I watched him, and he's going against, for the most part, the Raiders' second strings.
Yeah.
And, dude, he was struggling. Like, he couldn't do anything. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is, for the most part, a extremely stacked team, super deep. You know, defensively is great. Offensively, they figured out they make it work. And you're struggling. And then I see Sam Darnold come out, and I'm like, man, this dude's moving the ball. He's comfortable. He don't care. He's getting it out quick. And, yeah, it's crazy at everybody that says that Lance didn't get the opportunity. And I hear this all the time with people that are like, oh, well, this quarterback never got an opportunity. No. You get an opportunity every training camp. You get an opportunity every preseason. Like, let's see. So would you compare him to another quarterback that was putting up huge numbers in college and gets in the NFL, looked scared, looked lost? Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen really wasn't great with UCLA though. Like, he was okay. Right. Like
he was solid.
Like he had the pedigree, but even then, that just goes to show you, like you can be a 3 to 4 year starter in college, and you just don't. It doesn't transfer over to the league. Hey, look at Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow won 2 national titles. Trash in the NFL.
Yeah. Trash ass Christian boy.
Like even look at Zach Wilson. They're like that kid out of BYU. Oh yeah, he's gonna be great for the Jets. He's gonna be the next Joe Namath. Trash. So it's not necessarily always comparing like QBs by the huge numbers. It's just overall what did you do? He didn't do much at North Dakota State. There's like no film on him. And then all this opportunity in the NFL to learn, and you haven't taken it. Like, that's the other thing.
And here's my thing. Like, me personally, maybe it's just me, but I don't take quarterback I don't look at your college resume or your college tape after your rookie year. Because after your rookie year, you've either dipped your foot in the water in terms of regular season play, or at the bare minimum, you've played in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and me personally, if this is going into your rookie year, for example, like Anthony Richardson, I'm going to take the preseason and his collegiate play, and then I'm gonna combine it, and then we're gonna see, right? Looking at a guy like Trey Lance, who's been here for a while and has played preseason games prior to this year, I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh yeah, he had that 1 year at North Dakota. No, I'm not gonna do that, because again, what he did in college, it wasn't even that impressive.
No.
It really wasn't that impressive, so I'm not even going to do that and then try to use that to justify him playing like a bum when the competition gets higher. Because now you're playing in the NFL, and again, you're playing against guys who, after the preseason, are going to be cut.
Right.
And you can't hack it against them. On what God's green earth do you think you have a chance against anybody else?
So we have all those conversations though, and
bum.
I feel like we're being very hard on Trey Lance, but I feel
No,
like
fuck him.
Well, no. It could probably trust.
Fuck him.
I'm going somewhere with this.
No, man, his ass.
No,
I'm not gonna feel bad and say,
but we're not feeling bad.
No, because
I think
when you were drafted, you were expected to be great. This organization gave up a lot for you, and they were expected to be great. And this organization fed us that you were supposed to be great.
So you're setting me up right now. You're setting me up, and here we go. We're ready for it. Are you ready? I wanna throw this question to our boy Tone, Cowboys fan. You were set up to be great. You were set up to be amazing. You were set up to win a Super Bowl. It's been about roughly 7-8 years since Dak Prescott has been a Dallas Cowboy. What does this trade mean for Dak? Bringing in Trey Lance, who Pride, if you would care to reiterate how you feel about Trey Lance.
Try.
So with that being said, understanding that they're taking a chance on a former number 3 overall pick, what does that mean for Dak? What does that mean for his job security? Like, actually, going out and saying, listen, we got rid of Zeke, we replaced him with Tony Pollard. We got rid of Amari Cooper, we got CeeDee Lamb. We have all these different pieces now, and we do not care who's going to be a part of it. All we care about is the production and the wins at the end of the day. Do you see Dak and Trey actually at some point going for a quarterback battle?
No, because, and this was actually going to be my next point, with Trey. So everybody that gets drafted, to me, I kind of either give them a break or I criticize them more because of where they get drafted to.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
as we know, there are like trash organizations that you can get drafted to, aka Zach Wilson to the Jets. That was a terrible thing. The Jets are a trash organization. They usually don't have a lot of very good, supporting cast, either offensively or defensively for their quarterback. Like Zach Wilson was doomed whether he was going to be good or not.
Right.
Trey honestly got drafted. Him and Mac got drafted to probably the 2 best places as far as overall supporting casts that are going to set them up for success. And he still can't be successful. Like, there's only a hand. Like, you look at Patrick Mahomes going to Kansas City with Andy Reid.
Right.
Could not have been drafted to a better place that is going to be an overall supporting system.
Oh, he could have been a Chicago Bear, but
could have been.
Awesome. Happy he didn't. I'm happy he didn't.
But I will say too, though, to me, Jerry might try to use it for one of 2 things. Maybe to say, "Hey, Dak, I'm not going to try to pay you $50 million like that. Like, you're not getting the job done. Like, I'm not going to extend you like that. We need to talk about this because I will move to this kid who is basically a wish list version of you. That's going to be so much worse." Now, I will give credit to John. Cooper Rush is better than Lance because with all the stacked talent that the Cowboys have, Cooper Rush was able to go 4-1 without Dak. That's pretty damn decent. I don't think Lance could do that. I feel like we would go 1-4 with Lance as a quarterback.
A random question just popped in my head, and I was wondering if it was okay if I asked it.
I'm so scared.
Is Travis Kelce without Patrick Mahomes just Mark Andrews?
No. Bullshit. No. No. That is, and I'm not even I hate Kansas City with a passion. I hope one day something happens and they have to evacuate it And I hope Travis Kelce wakes up and forgets to play football one day. I hate him with a passion. I like his brother because he doesn't play for Kansas City. I hate Kermit the Frog. I hate his brother. I hate everything that had to do with that franchise. But you got me out here defending this man. Mark Andrews is not even – he can't even lace up my man's shoes. Not his cleats, his shoes.
And Kelce was solid with Alex Smith throwing to him. Like, that man was solid. And I do want to point out John's question. So how many years do I give Jordan Love? Jordan Love's had 4. He's been in the same exact system, had to learn from Aaron Rodgers, and man is still booty cheeks because they're still debating.
I don't know about booty cheeks, man.
I'd like to defend Jordan Love for a second.
I was about to say, I
don't think he learned anything. I don't think Aaron taught him shit, and Aaron said he didn't want to teach him.
But I don't think he learned from Aaron Rodgers. I think he learned from Matt LaFleur because I think Matt LaFleur knew this was coming. So I think on the low, he kind of was like,
whoa, wait, Pride. What makes you think that? The fact that Aaron said he was going to leave every offseason the last 4 years?
Yes.
Whoa,
like Matt LaFleur is just like, yeah, honestly, bump this guy. But
it's like if your girl says she's going to leave you for like 3 months straight, and then you wake up one day and everything's gone.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave you, and I'm gonna hold open the door for you. Leave, goodbye, au revoir. I've been told don't crash your car because under my insurance. Like, bump it.
Heard
that.
But
with Jordan Love, I will say this: I've seen flashes of good quarterback play from him. I'm just curious to see how he's gonna be his first year. If Buddy looks like a bum, then I'm laughing at Green Bay. But the fact that he's looking pretty good in the preseason shows me, okay, maybe he's not as bad as we thought. I want to see how he is, because if this year he gives me like 3,000 yards, he goes, something like 20 picks, maybe or not 20 picks, 20 touchdowns, 10 picks, something like that, or even 15-7. I'll take a step back and go, okay, this kid bought himself a year, right? But like you said, he's been there for like 4 years. If Buddy's out there making stupid decisions and he's looking like a bum, then we're gonna have this conversation next year about Green Bay,
right?
So,
and then getting Jordan Love.
But here's my other question, and real quick, John, you said Sean Clifford looked good at BYU. He was actually at Penn State, not BYU. Anyway, here's the thing though that I'm gonna kind of retract my hate.
You out here correcting him and then try to like smooth him out of there. You're a dickhead.
Here, I'm gonna kind of backtrack a little bit on the Jordan Love hate, but not by much.
Okay.
So you've had the last 4 years. Aaron Rodgers has been like, I want to leave. Screw this place. This place is terrible. Even though you guys as a team are getting me to the number 1 seed, and Maury is saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is my daddy. Even though they're like, if we move on from Aaron, like we're going to take a step back. Like even as much as I don't like Aaron, like that is definitely a step back. Like overall,
hey, he's better than any quarterback you've ever had in your franchise. Yeah, so you kind of gotta like him.
Easy. Whoa. No.
He was for mine.
Yeah. Anyway,
I ain't gonna argue it.
I'm gonna say this: Troy can at least got to 3 Super Bowls. Karen can't even get past the NFC Championship. But at
when's the last time your team won?
Karen's got a ring.
28 years ago.
Okay.
Karen's got a ring in the last 10 years.
Exactly. So settle down. You wish you had Karen.
Got one. Anyway.
One more than you did.
Like what does it what does it say though that even Matt is like, man, like I know we're gonna like regress and we're gonna look bad if we move on from Aaron, but at what point is he like, man, I don't even feel comfortable enough like year 3. Like, man, we can move on from Aaron. We can still at least, because you think about it. What if they potentially got rid of Aaron? You get Jordan Love, but you still have Devontae Adams.
I think
you still have a pretty decent defense.
Tony I still think that defense is pretty decent. I don't think they're great. It definitely took a step back, but they're still pretty salvageable. But I think the main thing, and Pride and I always compare this to women because it's always the funniest thing in the world when it comes to relationships and quarterbacks. But when you're with a girl and it's going really bad and you just don't want to leave her, Like, hey, I don't want to leave you.
Are you down bad for it?
Yeah, like down bad. Like I'm down for love. She's down to get the fuck out. Like that's what it is.
So you're talking. You're New Zealand down.
I'm New Zealand down, and
so it's cool.
It's something right now though where you have one of two choices, really. And you can either wait it out and wait for her to walk out on you, kind of like they were prepared to do, where he was just going to leave in free agency. They weren't going to get shit for him. That's the reality of the situation. And you can let him continue to be toxic and throw guys like Devontae Adams under the bus, and Devontae Adams ends up leaving because he doesn't want to deal with it and he's not getting the money that Aaron's getting. You know, there's so many different forms to this. Or you can leave, and maybe you're not going to bounce back on your feet right away with this new opportunity that's Jordan Love, but you know, you definitely got to try something that's that, because you can't just sit there and wait for this guy to walk away like it's nothing. And I think that's really the idea right now. And the duo with him and Christian Watson, I hate to say it, even as a Bears fan, I can't hate on it, because what I've seen in the preseason so far, I understand it's not, you know, defensive starters. It's not the craziest thing. It's not in-game time, but they look nice. I've seen a lot of over-the-shoulder passes. I've seen a lot of great stuff from those two together. I think it's a very beautiful thing, and it's unfortunate as a Bears fan because I'm saying that, but I'd like to see how that all looks with A.J. Dillon, with Aaron Jones, with Matt LaFleur, and with all these different pieces. I still think our boys up north in the Chicago Bears are in a much better position to win right now, but I definitely could have that conversation though a year from now, saying that the top two quarterbacks in the NFC could potentially be, in my opinion, Justin Fields and Jordan Love.
Wait, man, the disrespect to Jalen Hurts, like, I don't even like that.
On God, bro. Like, honestly,
Jalen Hurts.
Like, get out of here.
Hold on, I said the NFC North.
You didn't say
NFC
North. You said NFC. So
Did I say NFC? I'm sorry, I meant
yeah.
NFC
Please
North.
fact check yourself right now, because no, bro, you're
Listen,
not.
we're live, so I can't do that for 30 minutes after the episode ends.
Nah, that's some players. But I didn't touch on it from Dallas's point of view on why they would get him. I think
I'm trying to have you touch on me.
I mean, yeah, but you know, I'm not allowed to have any opinions or thoughts of my own, so it is what it is. But anyway, I will say this: like,
you are here, Pride. You go down under here.
Listen, bro. Hey, if you get personal one more time, I'm gonna start charging you $150 an hour. This isn't therapy.
Hey, you feel me? I mean, therapy won't help me. If anything, it'll just prolong the inevitable. Anyways,
oh man,
I will say this:
get him the funny socks. Get him the funny socks and put this man in a suit now.
Get him the funny socks. Anyways,
and get him Netflix.
Oh, whoa!
I mean, right now.
I just need one season, brother, and I promise you, I'll be great, bro.
There's 5 episodes. There's 5 episodes, my boy,
and there'll be a 6 by the time I'm done, brother. Whoa! You feel me? I'm gonna be in a rocket anyway.
I'll need some tips when you're done, Brad.
I will say this though, like, I think Tony was onto something. When I just think this is just like a move for.
He's on something.
Oh, 100%. You feel me? He on that Dahmer-ish, but I think this is just Jerry Jones, because I don't know if you guys saw some of the like the sound bites, right? They asked Jerry and Dak about the trade and everything, and Jerry Jones was, you know, his typical Jerry Jones. I don't have to let anyone know, right? Him doing that stuff. But then when they went to Dak, it's like Dak was like struggling internally. He's like, I don't know if I should say what I really want to say, or if I should just rock out with the PR move. Now, he rocked out with the PR move because they basically asked him, don't you think you should have gotten a heads up? And then he goes, I don't think I should have gotten a heads up, but immediately contradicts himself saying, you know, I wish I would have gotten it, etc., etc. But I do think it's a situation when Dak's contract is up and Dak goes and tries to say, I want more money. Listen, he already tried the free agent market once, and Buddy got humbled. Buddy got humbled beyond repair.
Yep.
Like, people forget, like, yeah, in the end, he got the money he wanted, which was great. But people forget, it was because Jerry Jones eventually said, bump it, let me just give him this money so we can end this saga. It wasn't because he was in a bidding war. Like, people forget about that. Dak went and tested free agency, and every single team looked at him and was like, look, respectfully, kid, what we're about to offer you is about the same thing. And honestly, that's a significant overpay to the point that we definitely don't want you.
Yeah.
So if he tries to test free agency again, listen, Jerry Jones is insane. Tony, I think you know this. That man is insane.
I've known this for the last 28 years.
Right. The man will literally, with a straight face, bench Dak in his last year. Start Trey Lance. Let Trey Lance be horrible. He'll let him play the entire year. and then goes, all right, Dak, go test free agency. And then when Dak crawls back, goes, we're glad to have him back.
Yep.
Like, I think that's all this really is. Granted, I don't think it'll work out in the end because, again, Dak he's not great. He's solid. He's a middle of the pack quarterback. He's not great. He's never going to get you to a Super Bowl. That's just the reality of it.
As Amari Cooper put it, he's the black Kirk Cousins.
I mean, let's settle down because honestly, I'd rather trust Kirk Cousins more.
Did you see Kirk Cousins' new handlebar mustache?
Bro, bump that. Did you guys have you guys seen the new commercials for the NFL season?
Why you cough like a 40-year-old man?
Because I'm a piece of shit and I deserve death. But have you guys seen it yet? There's like a bunch of them.
Justin Fields had a good one, and so did
DK.
DK
I like
had a
the
good
DK.
one.
But
Ramsey had a good one.
Fuck Jalen Ramsey.
Hey, I want to throw some shade because Jalen Ramsey in his is like, oh, I didn't know this wasn't a dress rehearsal, and I was like,
you're not going to be dressed up for like the first 6-8 weeks. So LOL, hold your elbows up.
So I don't know why you would have thought that.
No, but it's kind of funny how you said that because like that kind of leads to Big Kirko always dressed up, and it's like him with the chain.
Big Kirko always iced out.
And then he was like, Big Kirko, I like that. He goes, you like that? Big Kirko, I'm loving it. And honestly, it's like, Kirk Cousins, retire, come back as a rapper. Big Kirko, I don't care how horrible you are, I'm buying every album expeditiously. Like on site, I'm buying your shit, bro.
So is that what we're calling him now? Big Kirko? I thought he was Perk Thuggins.
That's what I thought. But hey, he came out and called himself Big Kirko. Who am I to disagree with Big Kirko?
I say with that type of mustache, he can call himself whatever he wants to, honestly.
Oh God, bro! Like, come on, bro. That's what we're gonna be doing in the league.
But I will say, kind of back to the Lance thing. There's two crazy ways I could see Jerry Jones trying to do this, and this is just purely hypothetical. This is also the desperate Cowboys fan trying to save what is left of that franchise. As much as I love them, two things. One, I potentially think that Jerry could try to use the Trey Lance thing to his advantage. Of okay, Dak, I'm going to put this here to put a little fire under you, but also use him as trade bait because if a quarterback gets hurt and a team wants to potentially have a dude that they think could at least keep them close to 500 and not have just some other backup bum play, maybe they try out Trey Lance. Maybe they give Dallas a second or third pick for him. Maybe.
Right. And it's crazy too because like I was talking to one of my boys, John Rivers. I call him Like he a Dallas fan, and him and I kind of agreed on this. If Jerry Jones really believes in this kid, that's if he really believes in this kid.
We're talking about Trey.
I'm talking Trey Lance. If he really believes in him, he should play him.
Right.
I don't mean have him start, but let's say you're in the middle of a blowout, whether you're losing or you're winning, put Trey Lance in there. Yeah, see what you got with him.
Here's my problem, right?
You're going to have to end up doing that.
Here's the big issue is like, and I understand it from the 49ers standpoint because you had to keep Trey until preseason was over because you had to see if there was anything salvageable. You needed to see if there was something this kid was going to show you that was different. But the problem for Jerry is, what is this, year 3 for Trey Lance now? Same as Justin Fields and Mac Jones, right? It's year 3?
Yeah, going into year 3.
Right. So technically it's still year 1 because he played fucking 4 games and only 3 minutes of one of them. So, But I digress. But with that, I think the craziest part of all of it is now you're going to have another excuseful year because you can't walk into Dallas and expect them. They can't expect him to walk into Dallas and ball out because you have not been a part of this organization. You have not had the reps with the first unit, the second unit, or the third unit, or even the practice squad. So now I'm counting 3 years of Trey Lance in the NFL where there's an excuse for him every year. Year 1 is you're a rookie. You need to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo and learn behind the best offense and one of the best offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan. Year 2, you break your ankle. Cool. It is what it is. You don't want to come back by playoffs, even though you're deemed healthy. That sucks. Neither did Jimmy G, though. So I'm gonna give him the same treatment. Kind of just let the 49ers ship sink, and they were 1 game away from the Super Bowl. So shitty as fuck. But with that being said, understanding that in year 3, I can't expect anything from him either because he just got to Dallas, and you have no communication with anybody in Dallas before because you're a rookie. So my question is, you go into year 4. You're on a contract year. what does Jerry Jones even potentially offer Trey Lance when it comes to a further contract? And how does that dictate what happens with Dak Prescott moving forward? Because you got Trey Lance who, I mean, bro, let's be real. By the end of this season, if all goes well for Dak Prescott, a biting injury, doesn't even have to perform well. I think we can all agree. As long as he doesn't get hurt, Trey Lance isn't going to see the field. So you have that conversation and you say, what is Trey Lance's market even going to be? Like, what are you going to ask for? Because we've seen it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, look at guys like Deshaun Kaiser. Like, oh, but I'm 25. Oh, but we don't give a fuck. Oh, look at Josh Rosen. Oh, but I'm 26. Yeah, we don't care. Like, you suck. Like, that's what it is. And I think at the end of the day, you start to have that conversation with yourself to where it's like, hey, Tony, if do you have Dak's contract in your head? Like, do you know when he's going to be a free agent?
He's going to be a free agent at, let's see, he's 30 now. I think he's a free agent next year. I think this is like 2 years left on his contract.
So then you have that conversation where it's like, okay, so are we going to pay Dak Prescott an extension that's going to be 10 times worth what it probably currently is? Or are we going to pay Trey Lance the veteran minimum or something close to it, a very team-friendly deal, and try to build a roster around him and see what happens? And I could see Jerry Jones going the cheaper route because that's who he is.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, part of me too, again, this is the hopeful fan of me, even though I know Jerry Jones is not going to do it. Part of me really hopes that Dallas tanks just right when like Arch Manning is trying to come out so he can be like, oh, man, I got a Manning. I got him from the University of Texas, from the SEC. We all know that ain't going to happen, unfortunately. But no, I honestly see Trey as being either, honestly, like 100%, this is going to be, to me, Trey Lance's like last chance. Because he was a number 3 overall pick, they have the option of his 5th year.
Right.
So if they don't feel like they've seen anything from him with Mike McCarthy, with all the talent that Dallas now has, that he could potentially get reps with the second, third, and even the practice squad guys, and with Mike McCarthy, another coach, a different set of eyes to look at him and tweak anything that's potentially wrong. If they don't feel that there's anything worth there, I think Dallas honestly declines that option, cuts him, and moves on. Because honestly, for them at the end of the day, they gave up a 4th-round pick for him. Hey, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's potential. They can work with it. And like we said, if they feel that there's enough there that where he could be like, hey, Dak, look, either realize you're going to take a pay cut so that we can sign other dudes like Micah Parsons because he's going to be coming up due. CeeDee Lamb's going to be coming up due. Or you can get the fudge out, and Trey is going to be our guy, and we'll figure out what to do from there.
So I'm gonna pose a question to Pride. I want to throw it his way, and Tony, I want you to go right after because I've thought about this long and hard. I've had this conversation with myself. Let's throw away the picks. Let's throw away the picks. Let's have a conversation about that current draft class with these quarterbacks that we've been talking about tonight. What's worse for these 3 organizations? We're looking at the Green Bay Packers, the New York Jets, and the San Francisco 49ers. Is it the 49ers taking Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones or Justin Fields? Is it the Jets taking Zach Wilson instead of Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Mac Jones? Or is it the Green Bay Packers taking Jordan Love instead of Jalen Hurts? In your opinion, what do you think? What's the biggest what if in that situation?
I mean, the biggest what – so I'm assuming you mean in terms of who would have made
like who would have been more successful if they would have been like to another.
Now.
I would honestly still have to say San Francisco. I would still because the Jets. I mean, the Jets still are like 2-3 years away from being legitimate. Even though they got Aaron Rodgers, the pieces they have around them are still kind of young, and they still need to hit their stride, right? So it's not like whoever they drafted would have. I mean, maybe they would have made an impact. But I still got to go with the Niners because it's like, bro, if you get Mac Jones, if you gotten anybody else.
I mean, could you imagine the run game? Let's forget the facilitating and the floor general, the field general that Mac Jones is, because I feel like that's a perfect transition from Jimmy Garoppolo because it's the same kind of offense. But when you have Kyle Shanahan, throw in Justin Fields who can rush over 1,000 yards, have Christian McCaffrey involved in that, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Like you can change up this offense in so many different ways. and you took the kid with the broken ankle. But
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Well-
believe it or not, like, do you know what Trey Lance's first words were to anyone in the 49ers organization? Bro, we're out here looking like he sounded like he a freaking extra on SpongeBob head ad, boy.
no, for sure,
Like-
for sure. But do you think?
what a
Okay,
bum.
so let's play devil's advocate, right, Tony? I'm gonna
Alright.
throw this one to you.
Okay.
You draft Jalen Hurts.
Mhm.
He's showing a lot more production, presumably, than Jordan Love was at that current state in year 1 and year 2. So obviously, they would probably be likely to move on from Aaron Rodgers, who at that time was already trying to get out, anyways.
Mhm.
So you have that conversation that Devontae Adams probably gets paid and doesn't leave Green Bay. You have Devontae Adams and Jalen Hurts, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Robert Tonyan. That Green Bay defense, who was 1 game away from making the playoffs last year, and even just how many times have they almost beaten the 49ers in the conference championship and couldn't get over the hump? I think Jalen Hurts gets them over that hump, and I think they go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I do too. And not only that, you have to realize too, if they do, they're not paying Jalen Hurts anything, and all the money that they would be dishing out to Aaron, part of that would go to Devontae,
Right.
and they could add more pieces. They could have got another
Still
big
could
wide
add
receiver.
Christian Watson still could have added
Yeah.
him.
You could have added, and this would be an extremely stacked and scary Green Bay team if you would have done that. But
Just to finish 4th in the conference, that's great.
right, but
Wow,
not only,
dude.
but no, I mean, I think it, to me, it was honestly a toss up between Hurts potentially going to Green Bay, or honestly, I feel like if Fields went to San Francisco, it would have been like he honestly never left Ohio State.
Right.
With the type of talent that he would have in San Francisco, the type of system that Kyle Shanahan runs, and the fact you could still be mobile, and you'd have still a solid defense. Like it just baffles me that Kyle was like, nah, I'm gonna take the kid with the broken ankle. I think he's got more talent than Justin Fields. Like this is the other reason why I hated that draft so much, is because it was like Trevor Lawrence went number 1. We all knew that was going to happen. Like he deserved to be number 1. I wasn't super mad about that.
Right. No, yeah, and I mean,
but
come on,
you
national champion. Like
I say, but you took Zach Wilson and Trey Lance over Justin Fields and Mac Jones. Now I'm not even a big Mac Jones fan just because I dislike 90% of Alabama quarterbacks, but he was a national champion.
right.
Like he can make the throws. Like he knows how to work a professional system. And you took you know what it's like? It's like, look, you can either have option A, which is the gold box. You can have option B, which is the platinum box, or you can have option C, which is the mystery paper bag that could be better than both of them.
It's the Peter Griffin. Oh man, Pride. We got to start doing clips. We got to start doing clips on here for the pod. Remember, it's that Family Guy episode where it's like, do you want a brand new boat or a box?
Mystery box. I'll take the
Mystery
box. He's like, yo. She's like, why would you take the box? The box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
It could be a boat.
Moron.
But no, I do want to. I want to make a transition really quick because we've been on Trey for a little bit. Tony,
Welcome.
I want to bring it up. You brought up obviously Mac Jones and the Alabama, and winning a national title, doing amazing things. Today, the Chicago Bears cut Alex Leatherwood, who, and not even just talking about the Bears, talking about Alex Leatherwood being a first-round pick, being a juggernaut in Alabama, a national champion.
My Lord. And I want you to tell the world how much of a disappointment this man has been.
Well, okay, so he hasn't been a disappointment to me.
Disappointment.
But no, not to me, because he never even played. So I really don't care. But we
No,
got
I'm
him
talking
for,
about his entire career.
No,
I'm not talking about
yeah,
just from Chicago.
Yeah, most definitely. Because in Chicago, it was like we got him for a bag of chips, so we didn't really care. But like getting him in the, what was it, 17th overall for the Raiders?
He was first round pick. Like he was one of like what 3 picks they had that year? Like in the first round?
Yes.
And you're viewed as potentially being an all-pro and being one of the greatest tackles to enter the draft in the last decade. I mean, that's really what people were saying about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, when you come from Alabama, I feel like your stock is raised a lot higher. You come from Ohio State, you come from Alabama, you come from Clemson. In recency, you get a lot better looks than more times than not.
Right.
Just because you're in that playoff contention, because you're in these Big Ten organizations, you're in these big time units, to where it's like, okay, well, You got to look at them. It's not the Iowa States of the world like Brock Purdy to where you have to fight just to get drafted.
Well,
But-
and I'll say, and I want to add real quick to that too. Like Alex Leatherwood was in the position with Alabama. Like, you're a part of the offensive line. Like,
Right.
you have to, like, I'm not saying you have to individually be great, but you have to individually be better than like the quarterback does.
You were
'Cause
Mac Jones's protector. If
Right,
it wasn't
because-
for Alex Leatherwood, Mac Jones wouldn't have been able to do what he did.
Because let's be realistic. Like, you can damn near put any quarterback in an Alabama system when you have like the Jerry Judys, you have the Henry Ruggs, you have all these different wide receivers and weapons, the big offensive line like Alex Leatherwood's and that defense to be able to carry you.
Right.
You can be great in that Alabama system.
So what do you think from your guys' perspective? Obviously, like me personally, I watch a lot of film on safeties, DBs, and running backs. That's my shit. So I'm not great when it comes to what an offensive lineman is supposed to look like on film, what you're supposed to see. But you can obviously tell that there was a disconnect from college football to the NFL. What do you think it was? Was it going to Las Vegas? Was it just him not being what everybody thought he could be? Because, I mean, we're talking about a 6'6", 330-pound offensive tackle from one of the most prestigious college football schools in modern day era. So what do you think was the fall off of Alex Leatherwood? Because there never really was even a climb.
I mean, well, I'll be honest. I think for me, it was just he's just not good. I think there are plenty of guys in the NFL, no matter the position. There are some guys who are great in college, but for some reason, when it comes to the NFL, just not good. I think that's him. I think at best he's a project that you could probably mold him to be a backup. I mean, for some reason, like if you watch the tape, it tells you that he's always a step behind. His reads are weird, and he's very undisciplined. And what I mean by his reads are weird is every time he looks up, there are multiple times where the double team's on the other side, right?
Right.
And he's supposed to look up, look left to see if there's oncoming blitz, and then look right so that he can get on his man. He does the opposite. He looks at his man and then goes, oh, wait. Then he looks to the left to see if there's anyone oncoming to see, oh, do I have to help with a chipper? It's bizarre how he really – it's like he works backwards. So that's number one. Number two, they'll tell him the cadence, and he's always a step behind, right, which is bizarre because then that puts him at a disadvantage because not only is he reading and looking at his reads, he's doing it backwards. But when he's a step behind, he's getting easily pushed back, and then that leads to the undisciplinedness because when he gets pushed back, instead of just falling back and just kind of – because what you're trained to do as an offensive lineman, if you get pushed back, you scream, you yell, you do something to let your quarterback know, I'm down bad, bro. You better hit feet. That's what you're supposed to do. But instead of doing that, he'll just grab him and he'll try to tackle him. And it's like, bro. This is offense. You're not a linebacker. Simmer down. Relax. Obviously, he's got an issue with his hands because he's always finds a way to get for face masks. It's just, for me, he's just not good. There's a balance you need to have as an offensive lineman. He just doesn't have it. And a lot of these things that you need as an offensive lineman, you learn about it when you're younger, and you work on it and you mold it. You had a great point, Mike. Listen, you could be a horrible offensive lineman if you're just one bad offensive lineman and you plug them into a great football program, like how we saw LSU back in the day, or even now, because they're still a great football program, like LSU, like a Georgia, like a Bama. Like, you can be that one weak guy, but because everyone else is so great, it can kind of mask you. And I think that's what happened with him, that because it seemed like on paper he was so great, no one took into account, hold on, what if it's just Bama? What if it's just
what if it's just
everyone else is so great?
Let's go down the list at the time. I mean, let's try. We had Mac Jones, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's safe to say it doesn't matter how much time you have, something was going to work.
Right, and that's my thing. Like, sometimes even if you just have one bad offensive lineman, when you have all that talent around you, and that offensive line was still very great, even though you had him there, right, you're able to kind of just exist, and that's what he was doing. And you didn't realize how he was just existing until he got to Vegas, and then Vegas was like, "All right, bro, you're it." And then by game 3, everyone is looking at him like, oh my God, this is a project. Because remember, he started as a right tackle. Mans was getting fried, and they're like, what are we going to do with him? Let's move him to guard. Right. And he was a little better, but still horrible. Mm-hmm. He was at least, sure, it was a little better, but he was still horrible. So again, it put him in a situation where, again, like I said, there are multiple times where there's nothing you can do no matter where you go. Sometimes you're just trash. That's just that. Sometimes you're just not built for the NFL. How many guys have we seen kill it in the collegiate level, but then when they get up to the NFL, it's just a flash in the pan?
I mean, we were just
some guys are like
Tony
that.
And I were just talking about Johnny Manziel the other day. You know
that's what I'm saying. Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow. That's a big one. Tim Tebow, Marcus Mariota looked great when he was in Oregon.
And I don't mean to be disrespectful here, but I think very soon we're going to have those same conversations about Anthony Richardson.
That's a possibility. Listen. I don't think he's gonna. I think there's a lot of stuff that he needs to fix.
So I'm doing fly Eagles fly after handing off the ball. That was crazy.
Oh my Lord, you saw that too? Yo, he handed the ball, ran to it.
Dog. I don't know.
And then he ran to the fly. I'm like, bro, like at least throw a touchdown.
You didn't even run it in, dog. You didn't. You just handed it off.
You hate it, and it's crazy because while he's doing it, everyone else is ignoring him. They're walking away like
everyone's like, "Oh man, please don't do that to third stringers, bro." I don't know.
They're like, settle down.
Because like, I got this.
Yeah, because they're running away, and then like they're like, bro, Philly gonna beat the shit out of us.
Jalen Hurts is gonna ratio that, man. It's gonna be.
Oh God, bro! And as soon as he does it, what do the Colts do? Nothing, because they're irrelevant. Anyways,
exactly. But to that point with Leatherwood though, like me and Tony had a great point on it. Tony, I don't mean to put you on blast, but you had an amazing opinion on it about the Bears last year. You know, Alex Leatherwood gets picked up. Obviously, Tevin Jenkins goes down with a back surgery. You have all these other offensive linemen on the Bears, Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, and all these other guys going down. And Alex Leatherwood still can't stay on the starting 5 for too long. They're switching him out. They're not able to keep him on there. I know you had such a greater opinion on that than I did, but it was so frustrating. Like, you know, we really thought we had something. We were like, oh, we just got this kid. The Raiders gave up on him. Like, maybe we can make him into something, because we literally have the worst offensive line in football, and he still couldn't even hang.
Yeah. And here's what's crazy, too. I can't find any of the statistics for Alex Leatherwood from college. Like, I can't find any of his collegiate stats.
Nick Saban, you didn't hear? Nick Saban burned all of it the day before the draft. I
believe it. I believe it. They absolutely burned all of them.
It's a pride point. We're disguising. Look at the ring. Look at the ring. The champion.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not even trying to be rude, but like I said, man, there's
we're 57 minutes into this. I don't want to hear that shit.
No. I'm talking about Alex Leatherwood.
You're down
fuck Trey Lance
with the wood.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is just what happens. You know, when everyone throws hate at you, just throw it back, because that's all you know. But listen, Alex Leatherwood just wasn't good. I'm not even trying to say that to be over the top or nothing. He's just not good.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, and again, sometimes this happens. Sometimes big programs trick you. Sometimes they do that 100%. Because they're so great that you think all of them are really like that. And most of the time, you see it coming from the running back, from the quarterback position, which obviously they have to, they rely on others, but also the offensive and defensive lines. Right. That's honestly where three of the positions that you really get tricked more times, offensive line than anything, because when everyone else around you is great, all I gotta do is just not hold you. I'll just stand there. Yeah. I won't even get out my 3-point stance. I'll be fine because everyone around me is so great. Unfortunately, someone tricked the Raiders into thinking Alex Leatherwood was nice. They cut him, and then the Bears thought they could do something, and
we didn't think anything. We just thought, hey, fuck it. At this point, why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Because again, you guys need to do something for your offensive line. So you guys were like, hey, if this kid can just be something,
we were like,
we'll be fine.
Here's what we could do, Pride. Here's what we could do.
But again, he's looking like he's going to be a backup for the Bears. And like you said, Mike, you guys have the worst, one of, if not the worst offensive line in football. If his ceiling is a backup for your offensive line,
right?
Yeah, bro, just hit him as walking.
And it's that same conversation where it's like, for the Bears in 2022, you could call Jason Peters for the third time and ask a 40-year-old man who obviously a Hall of Fame career, absolute stud, but is not who he used to be.
Right.
You can call him, or you can go after the kid that was drafted number 17 overall a year ago and see maybe you can catch lightning in a bottle and rejuvenate what he was in Alabama. But, it just didn't turn out that way. And as the Bears offensive line got better, and I feel like if I had to rate what this offensive line is right now, I feel like last year it was bottom 10, and now we're somewhere from, I would say when they're healthy, 10 to 15. 10 to 15, I feel like that's a safe range for the Bears offensive line right now. After adding people in the draft, after adding free agents, I think they're in a good spot. And Alex Leatherwood, unfortunately, doesn't have that ability to have his job secure just because we have no other options right now. And I think that's something that you start to see throughout the league is like, there used to be a commodity of guys who don't belong in the league, but you don't get top tier players at each position more times than not. So you have to have some guys on there that just are not great players. You just need for that. Yeah. For a lack of a better word, probably that's exactly it. And it's like, you really look at that and you go, man, listen, I don't like this, but it is what it is. Now you're starting to see all these rookies, all these undrafted guys who are hell of an athlete. I mean, we're talking about Isaiah Simmons, who just got traded for a 7th round pick, like an absolute freak athlete. And that's an amazing acquirement. So I think you look at guys like that and you say, listen, we just can't afford to have a nobody here. And that's really what he's become. And I hate to say that because it's very early in this young man's career, but I can only base it off of what you've shown me.
Yeah, and here's the other crazy part from NFLDraftBuzz.com, what Alex Leatherwood's strengths and his weaknesses were. So he is considered one of the best run-blocking offensive linemen in that year's draft class. He passes the eye test of impressive frame, thick lower half, and overall length. Has fluid body control with loose hips, physical and tough with good effort in the run game. Plays with a finishing attitude with an aggressive, nasty temperament. Kind of some more reiteration of that, but here's the weakness. The former Crimson Tide lineman has a lot of talent in all areas of guard play, but he does have issues with his lateral movement being just average. Stops his feet after initial contact, relying on length but allowing the defender to get the corner or spin inside. Struggles to get low enough to maintain leverage. Won't be able to cut more agile NFL linemen because he's not sudden and gathers before lunging. And too often is pushed back into the pocket during the pass protection because he bends at the waist rather than at the knees, relies more on precise angles than physicality in the running game. And it's funny, it says, we likely consider him taken at the top of the 2nd round, possibly going late in the 1st. And the Raiders took him at 17 overall. So even honestly, even everybody else except for the Raiders had him probably as a 2nd to 3rd round pick,
right? And
probably being average.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, and what I heard from that, the way I would hear it as a coach or as a scout, you have to have that conversation of what you took away from the negatives, and what I heard was, yeah, he's in college, so he's using his size and who he is to his advantage. But when he goes up against the Aiden Hutchinsons, when he goes up against the Chase Youngs, when he goes up against the Khalil Macks, the Joey and Nick Bosa's of the world, you're going to have problems. And that's really what it is. Like when you're in college and you go up against Northwestern, it is what it is. You know what I mean? When you go up against, respectfully, Michigan, or you go up against these lower end schools who aren't as productive as Alabama's standards are, that's going to be a cakewalk. But you saw him struggle against Ohio State. You saw him struggle against Clemson. You saw him struggle against other guys who are just as athletic, if not more. And then when you get to the NFL level, it's that times a million when you see guys like Micah Parsons in your face every single day.
Well, and it's also crazy, too, that you got to think, like we talked about, he came from Alabama. Like, you got coached by one of, if not the absolute GOAT of college football. And really, you couldn't hack it in college. Like, you hacked it because Nick Saban was like, yeah, I mean, you're better than what we've got. Like you are a big dude. Like, you're bigger than, like, Mike mentioned. You're going to be able to beat up on the Vanderbilts. You're going to be able to beat up on the Kentuckys because everybody can beat up on them.
Right.
But yeah, that it is kind of sad that the dude, he was just drafted, 2020 he was drafted to the Raiders.
2021.
Yeah, he's only been in the league for like 5 years.
Right. So like you're not even halfway through like a rookie contract. And they were already like, yeah, no. The Raiders were like, yeah, no, we'll give you to the Bears. And
yeah, the Raiders were done after a year, dude. Like
And they've had a terrible offensive line. They've had a terrible offensive line forever.
Forever.
And then you go to the Bears, and the Bears have had a bad offensive line for a while. And it's like, no, we can't do it, kid. Like John mentioned, do you see a team that needs him like the Rams or the Broncos? Honestly, you could even see the Jets. But I mean, at this point, I don't even see you being a backup.
I could see McVay taking a chance.
I mean, maybe.
But do you think he could get the most out of him, though?
I think if anybody could, McVay or Shanahan or guys like Reed could. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're not really in a position to where they have the time to wait for you to develop. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a win now mode, dude. Like, that's just what it is. But Tony, I did have a topic. It's not on the list. It's not on the list, but it's kind of interesting with the Jonathan Taylor conversations going around. I heard somebody say, obviously, if we're talking 2 years ago, I think this trade already happens. But at what point do you think, if the price goes down for Jonathan Taylor, do you see the Los Angeles Rams taking a shot on Jonathan Taylor?
No.
I'm going to say no.
No.
I'm going to say no.
No. Not even close.
Because honestly, like, the Rams are finally to the point where I think they finally have a first-round pick for the first time in like a decade.
But that's what I'm saying. If the price goes down, second round, third round pick.
I don't think it is. I think Jim Irsay has been taking a page out of Jerry Jones's book, and he's doing two things. Because you got to think, at first, when Jonathan Taylor was like, "Man, y'all need to pay me," Jim Irsay is no. Okay, well, I want to be traded. No. And then it's okay. Well, I'm going to hold out. And honestly, they pointed this out on the radio. The Colts have actually been nice because they could be fining him like $50K a day for missing, and they're like, no, we'll let him kind of figure it out. We'll try to like ease some of the tension, like do your thing, try to get right in the head, stuff like that.
I think that's more of a. Do you think that's more of a? All right, well, maybe we'll just let him figure it out on his own, and he'll come back this season.
I think so. And then on top of it, when they gave him permission, I think that was Jim like, hey man, look. You're not getting the Alvin Kamara. You're not getting the CMC contracts anymore. Those contracts are done because of guys like Zeke. Those contracts are gone. So if you can find someone that's going to pay you, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work on the back end. But I don't think that's going to happen. And the dude's coming off of a pretty bad injury, and it's like, what? Yeah, you're 24. You're probably going to bounce back pretty quickly. But I mean, we've seen other dudes. It's like, man, he was great before he got hurt. When he got hurt, he's never been the same. Hashtag Carson Wentz. He's not been the same ever since he got hurt.
I don't even know where that man is anymore.
He's
Washington. Somehow Carson Wentz is somehow backup for Sam Howell.
No, he's not. They cut him. They cut him at the end of the season.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So do better. No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Pride.
No, they didn't. No,
I know you got a man bun pride, but you're wrong.
No. I refuse. I forgot to tell you. I refuse to live in a world where Carson Wentz got cut for Sam Howell. So because of that, he didn't get cut. He's not a free agent. We're just waiting for Sam Howell to sell, and then we're gonna start. And y'all got me talking like I'm a Commanders fan. We're gonna start Carson Wentz.
What happened?
Carson Wentz is not a free agent and will not be a backup to Sam Howell. I refuse to live in that world because I will dead ass 100% call it quits on everything.
So John, you have a pretty interesting comment here that made me laugh, and I told Mike about it, but I have to tell you about it because it made me laugh as a Cowboys fan more than anything. So John said, heard on the JT situation that he's going to Miami for Eli Apple, a running back, and a third pick. So
I mean, look, but here's the reality of it, though. Like, this is the part that people don't understand, right? Like, obviously, you got to try to get the trade, right? But what team is going to pay him what he wants? That is part two of this, where that's why I don't think he's gonna get traded. No team is gonna look at him and go, "Hey, we're gonna pay you." No one's gonna do that because a lot of these teams are captured. Like, for example, you guys said the Rams. Yeah. No, they are in salary cap hell. That's the reason why a lot of the moves they need to make, they can't make because they owe everybody so much money. Right? And then the few teams out there that have the money aren't going to give it to them because they would rather spend it elsewhere to try to make a more full-rounded team. Like he just said, the Bears has the money.
Yep.
The Bears are more likely to spend the money, probably get another wide receiver. Mike, if I'm wrong, you let me know.
We're
Get
good.
another wide receiver,
We're fine.
fix the offensive line, and maybe add a couple more pieces defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, the big conversation around town is fuck JT. We're going after Christian Jones or Chris Jones to see if that's a potential.
Right.
Which would honestly be
Defensively.
better.
But
It would be.
But
You know-
here's the other thing, Pride, I wanted to tell you because I told Mike. I'm in a group chat with this Eagles fan. And I swear this man.
Pride, I read this, bro. I read Tony's message and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I had no words.
It was one of those when I first saw it, I was like, you are kidding me right now. Like I don't believe this. So for anybody that doesn't know the Eagles' current running back room, they have DeAndre Swift that they got from a trade from Detroit. They have Rashad Penny.
Love it.
When healthy, Rashad Penny's a beast. And they have a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Gainwell, the third string running back. This man told me for straight up that the Colts would accept a trade of Jonathan Taylor straight up for Kenneth Gainwell and a 5th round pick.
Respectfully, I don't know how cool you are with this guy.
I'm not.
Respectfully, dude is 100% the 7th player or the 7th character in Down for Love. No debate.
Wow.
No debate.
When he first said that, I was like, no. I was like, you need to explain to me what makes you think that because you are such a diehard Eagles fan, that the 3rd string running back for the Eagles, the Colts are going to be like, oh my God, he's definitely a replacement for Jonathan
by the way,
Taylor.
I like Gainwell. I do like him. I like him in that system because they like to kind of use him, spread him out. He's more of a catching guy or whatever, which I like him in that system. That being said, unless injuries happen, you don't see him getting a lot of touches. Do you want to know why? Because there's way better options.
Because in that preseason game that he played in just shortly before, he fumbled and got toasted by the Browns' 2nd string defense.
And that's always been that's one of his biggest problems. A lot of people say that. Granted, it's not like he turns the ball over a lot.
No,
but that's just because someone from the Eagles ends up pouncing on it. He still, coughs up the ball quite a lot. So I don't know what your man's talking about, I don't know where my heat's dirt.
He got so mad at me, and then everybody was like, "No, dude, like Kenneth Gainwell is not that guy." For real, it was straight boo. But anyway, the only thing I could see Jonathan Taylor doing is getting traded to an actual contender, and maybe they give him a 1 year, slightly above average, kind of like what Vegas has done with Jacobs and the Giants did with Saquon. We'll pay you a 1 year, $13 million. But then after that, you on the streets and you on your own, my boy. But you may or may not get a Super Bowl ring out of it if you do.
I mean, but that's the thing. I don't think Jonathan Taylor would want to do that.
Change positions then. Cry about it.
I mean,
become a wide receiver would be better.
I at this point, and it's I tell Pride this all the time. Sure, yeah, it was high school. Doesn't matter. But I played running back. I love running back. You grow up and you want to be a running back. You want to be Walter Payton. You want to be Emmitt Smith. You want to be Barry Sanders and all these.
So you get treated like a running back.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's at this point, you have to understand that you're not a kid in high school anymore, man. It's not all going to be fair. It's not all going to be sunshines and rainbows. At the end of the day, this is a business. And unfortunately, you're driving a Hyundai Elantra and the wide receivers are Lambos. We're not investing in a Hyundai Elantra. I drive a Hyundai Elantra for everybody in the comments who's going to say they drive them.
They say what a loser. He got filet mignon taste on a Vienna sausage.
Literally. It's man, how could I? So wide receivers are like Chick-fil-A fries, waffle fries with the Chick-fil-A sauce, right? And right now, as it sits, man, you looking like a Wendy's strawberry lemonade.
Do me a favor. Okay, time out. I gotta hop in here. Please. With all due respect, shut the fuck up.
With all due respect?
With all due respect, shut the fuck up. And I'm saying that out of a place of love.
You a Wendy's meat rider?
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with Wendy's. By the way, Chick-fil-A's dog shit. I will say that till I die, bro. 100%.
On a Sunday, it's okay.
You gonna disrespect the Lord like that?
I will 100%. 100%.
Yeah, that man bun changed your pride.
100%.
It's almost man bun Monday.
Pride, let me
me-
see the man bun right now.
Let me
Hashtag
no,
stay toxic.
nope. I'm to leave the camera. We also need to relax and stop pretending that Jason Tatum. Well, him too, but Jonathan Taylor.
2 months early, but I'm expecting nothing less.
Yeah, but we need to stop pretending like Jonathan Taylor's a bum.
Oh, I'm not saying he's a bum at all.
Are you sure? Because
Okay, so
almost
where
implying-
you told me to shut the fuck up is, I think, is where we're getting confused, because this has nothing to do with Jonathan Taylor. It has everything to do with the position and how it's valued.
Okay. I misunderstood.
So what I'm saying is,
shut the fuck up. I take it back and I apologize.
Wendy's is the running back position.
Okay.
When you look at Chick-fil-A and the McDonald's and all of these other things, these are quarterbacks, wide receivers. These are big time things that aren't going away anytime soon. My boy,
should, but okay.
The running backs are looking like a Subway in the middle of downtown Chicago right now. You don't even know it's there. Like that, it's just there, my boy. There's a foot long sitting on the table for the free, and it ain't going nowhere. No one's coming in today. Like it's literally like, at the end of the day, my point in saying all of that is, it's just the shitty luck of the draw, man. And Pride, I want your opinion, because I've never been on the panel with you when we had this conversation, and some people agree with me, some people don't. Mm-hmm. You have running backs complaining about this, right? Mm-hmm. I've never heard a kicker complain about only making $1 million a year.
Because what's the kicker doing?
Just kicking.
Okay, then.
Most players don't even consider the kicker a part of the team. They're like,
exactly.
thank you. You got the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, but to that point, when the brokest dude isn't complaining, now Pride, this is where I'm trying to make an argument. Okay, you ready to take a walk with me?
I'll take a walk with you.
No one's saying that running backs don't deserve to get paid, right? But when you're trying to elevate that to being the highest paid of all time, which each one of them has been trying to do, brother, we just can't do that. Like we can like the Giants, no problem giving Saquon a $10 million deal for 1 year. No problem. Now, when you want 15 to 20, that's when we have a problem. So what I'm saying is, the kickers who make $1 million don't give a flying fuck about the money, because they understand what they're worth. Now, the running backs aren't understanding that, hey, the front office doesn't give a fuck anymore. You're not going to get this money because it's a quarterback's league, and it's transitioned to that.
Well, not only that, but you have to look at the running back position. So look at all the running backs that recently have gotten like top paid money. You look at Christian McCaffrey. How many times was Christian McCaffrey injured in Carolina because he literally had to carry the whole entire offense?
Dalvin Cook
injured all the time. You have to look at Ezekiel Elliott. The last few years been hurt.
Oh, I know you wasn't about to leave out Zeke. I was gonna let it slide.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Zeke going in there. Zeke going all in there. Zeke going all in there like he going in that Subway right now.
Pride, if you give me one more, I'm gonna cut that man bun off.
But
anyways,
the only running back that really hasn't been, to me, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, as hurt consistently as everybody else has been Alvin Kamara. And even then, let's be honest.
Yeah, just punching guys in the street.
Tell me the last time Alvin Kamara was really like that guy, like leading the league. Like the last time.
I think Pride's
Alvin Kamara, he would have been that dude. What, last year? Had he not? He missed a couple games last year. That's the reason why people killed him.
What did he do last year?
No, he got hurt.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right, I think he got suspended last year too.
No. Because for that thing that he did, it was supposed to be this year. I think he got suspended for like what, 2 or 3 years.
It was last year, but it didn't. It was winter.
Yeah, the suspension isn't coming until this year. I only know because I had him on my fantasy. Crossing my fingers.
I heard that. I just traded him. Pride, wait.
Wait. Hold on. Time out. I want to point out one thing. John, Arby's is trash. The only good thing about Arby's is Buffalo Wild Wings, and they just bought out Subway, so that shows Arby's trash. In and Out, you got to have a secret menu for you to even remotely be relevant with the 4 items you have on your menu. In and Out is trash. I don't know if this is like the Cookout or like Cookout is a like other chain restaurant. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to comment. And don't you dare disrespect the Midnight Drunk Waffle Houses. That's an experience, good sir. You don't go there for the food to be delicious. You go there for the experience and to watch the fights between the people and the workers.
So Mike, you said you were gonna ask me something.
Yes, sir.
Actually, matter of fact, can you hold that thought for 1 second? Can you hold that thought for 1 second, please?
Yes,
Write it
sir.
down, because I just want to do a quick rebuttal to what you're saying on them wanting to get about the running backs wanting to get paid. I just have a question.
Go ahead.
In terms of the largest contract ever, right? How many times by a quarterback has that been broken?
Every single time.
Okay, thank you. For a wide receiver, do you know who the top 5 in terms of average per year, right? This is like their average annual value, right? Do you know who the top 5 are?
Currently or all time?
All time. This is all time, baby boy. All time, baby boy.
They're all recent, sir.
Yes, they are.
By the way, John, is Blue's Clues, not Teletubbies, and I will eat a peanut butter sandwich by itself all day, every day.
Right now, as it says, it's Tyreek Hill at number 1. 3
Yeah, it's Tyreek Hill, D-Hop. Yeah, Tyreek Hill at 30.
Right.
That's number 1. Number 2 is Devontae Adams. He's number 2 at 28. Number 3 is D-Hop at 27. I'm gonna tell you like the actual.
Mine has Cooper Kupp at 3.
Well, how much is his?
His is currently 26.7.
Well, D-Hop is 27.
Oh, I'm so sorry, D-Hop. So sorry, D-Hop.
Yeah, do better. And then 4th is Cooper Kupp. 5th is Julio Jones with 22. And then 6th is DJ Moore with 20.
Yeah.
Okay? So stop feeding me this malarkey that you can't do it for the running backs. You can't feed me that, especially when it's the same teams that we want to run to the ground.
That was the point I made to you, Pride. Is like, look at what the league has become. See, like what the point I was making is when we talk about the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the Chicago Bears.
I'm not talking about them, bro. I'm talking about old stuff. I'm talking about the last time your team was relevant.
Tell you though, like I'm trying to tell you, back
bum franchise.
You could have a bum ass fucking quarterback and go to the Super Bowl if you have a Walter Payton. You can. That's a fact. Like it was a run first offense for more times than not the majority of every single team in the NFL, and that's what it was. Running backs were getting 30 to 40 carries a game. And now you're at a point where you could see
they still are.
They're not as deep as it was, though, bro. You have the Jalen Hurts of the world, the Justin Fields and the Lamar Jacksons who are taking over and dual threat players. Even Patrick Mahomes, who can run the ball. You're starting to see these guys go after it. You're starting to see the wide receiver quarterback duos evolve, even the tight end positions evolving. And it's like everybody's evolving and getting better and better and better and better and better. And the running backs are kind of just staying the same.
That's not even true, though.
But how?
That's not even remotely true.
So what's different in the NFL right now compared to back then?
No. Yes, it's more of a pass first, but the talent from the running back position is still there.
I think the talent is there, but the overall the health,
the need isn't there either. Like it's at the end of the day, if Patrick Mahomes is slinging 5 touchdowns and 500 yards a game, I don't care what my running back is doing.
Yeah, until you lose that running back. Hold on. Isaiah Pacheco's a bum. And I mean that disrespectfully.
And they won a fucking Super Bowl.
Not because of him. No, stop. I'm telling you to stop because you're not putting context in this. You're not putting context in this.
Did the Chiefs have a running back last year that was legit?
Last year?
Yeah.
No, but okay.
And did they win the Super Bowl, yes or no?
No context at all whatsoever when they have a loaded wide receiver room. If you're looking at a team like the Chiefs, yes, they don't need a running back. I understand that. When you look at you said what?
They had no wide receiver. Who was their wide receiver room?
Travis Kelce.
They had obviously Travis Kelce. You had who's been their number 1 receiver forever. They had Juju. McCall Hardman stepped up. Come on, man, stop playing, bro. They had Juju as a number 2 is respectable.
Oh man.
See, and you're the same dude who was trying to deep throw Juju to go over there, and you couldn't get him, so now all of a sudden he's a bump. So anyways, go back to your corner. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. You're going to a team that has a pass for but ready to hear the funny part? Are you ready to hear the funny part? You just contradicted yourself. Because what is the one thing that you and I both said the Buffalo Bills need in order to reach the Super Bowl?
The run game.
Let's go to the next topic. Yo, if this is Pokemon, I hit him with Confused Ray. He hurt himself in his own confusion.
They
What
don't
the
run
fuck?
the ball at all, and that's the problem. That's their issue. Like, they throw the ball. That's all they do. I need somebody to run the ball. I don't need a running back superstar that is the highest paid in NFL history. I just need somebody to run the fucking football. Pride, hit you with another one. You have these conversations about Gainwell. You talk about Swift. You talk about all these different guys that are in right now in Philly. Bro, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because you have Jalen Hurts and you have A.J. Brown and you have Devontae Smith and you have Dallas Goedert. And guess what? They went to a Super Bowl with a bunch of bums playing the running back position.
They're not bums. They're not bums. They're not bums.
I'm sorry. Was Brian Scott any good? Was Gainwell great?
First of all, Boston Scott in that system was respectable because it was a running back by committee thing. When you have a running back by committee, you don't need anyone to be spectacular. Again, you're not talking about contact. The Miami Dolphins, who's their running back by committee?
It's Mostert right now.
Raheem Mostert.
Okay, is that a running back by committee? Because right now they only have a 1-2.
They have that rookie kid. I can't pronounce his name. It's something AC.
He's losing touches because they just got Miles Sanders.
No, that was
Miles Sanders is on the Panthers.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they got somebody else. They got somebody else. So, buddy, losing touches.
Jonathan Taylor. But my point in all of it, Pride, is I love the running back position. I have no problem with it. But it's when you try to make them top 3, top 5 players on that salary cap, on that roster, it's like it's going to be very hard to win a Super Bowl when your running back is making the majority of the money. Tony can prove that point with how Zeke is panned out.
And you can say the same thing about the quarterbacks because of all the teams when the quarterbacks had made, I think it was like 33% or more of the cap money, only one team won the Super Bowl. Only one.
I'm going to ask you this, though. Let's take away Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow. What happens? You take away Joe Mixon right now from the Cincinnati Bengals. Do they still have a winning record?
Joe Mixon?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was out the majority of last year, actually.
And
I think you can make the argument.
But if you take away Joe Burrow, what happens? What were they the entirety of their franchise without a quarterback one?
Again, no context because who's the better player?
Joe Burrow.
Obviously, Joe Burrow's the better player. Now, let me ask you.
I could do that with you.
Hold on. No. Because I'm not going to let you get away with that. So let me ask you something. If the Colts, let's play that game. The Colts, if they go without Jonathan Taylor, do they have a better record with just Anthony Richardson?
I think they have the same record because he was out last year. Was he not?
Smoking pure fucking
was
herbs,
he not?
bro.
Was he not? Did he not miss the majority of last season?
Pure herbs, bro.
So he was on the team last season, and how'd they do?
I don't know, man. Just put up historical numbers, but I guess
historical number. He rushed 800 yards. That's historical numbers.
Who rushed 800 yards?
Jonathan Taylor last season.
Bro, you're not taking into account the fact that they had nobody else, so they put him in the pass game too.
I don't want to.
Question mark?
You have Michael Pittman Jr.
Garbage.
Who? Thank you. Like you gotta stop. Just because a kid is coming up doesn't mean he's it now.
Bro, but
you do the same shit with fucking Justin Fields. You do the same fucking shit.
More times than not, Pride. Name all 30 NFL teams in the league, and you take out the quarterback versus the running back, and what happens to those teams? More times than not, you take out that quarterback, they are no longer a playoff team.
Are you done?
Like, okay, so take away Aaron Rodgers from the Jets right now. What are they? Put Zach Wilson at QB1. What are they?
See, but you're replacing it with a bump.
But I could do
That's
it.
Still gonna be a pass first team. That's the part that you're mistaken.
I could do it.
No, you're not. No, you're not. See, it's funny. You're going to bum teams. You're going to bum teams. You're going to bum teams.
But do I?
That's what you're doing.
Do it all day. Okay, fine.
No, you can't.
Fine, I'll do it again. Take away Isaiah Pacheco. And now take away Patrick Mahomes. Take away Jalen Hurts. Now take away Gainwell.
Okay, hold on. You see, this right here is why I can't take you serious in this conversation. Because you're just saying take away Isaiah Pacheco. The dude is a bum.
So you just asked me to name legit teams, and I did, and you're mad.
No. Because you're not calling legit. Yo, is Isaiah Pacheco a top 30 running back in the league?
You're not.
Zach, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
do better. That's wild to me.
Derek Carr. What's more important?
You said who?
Alvin Kamara or Derek Carr?
In that system, Alvin Kamara. Because when Alvin Kamara was hurt, you saw how bad they were. You saw how bad
doing shit with Alvin when they didn't have a quarterback.
Tony, with Alvin, are you shitting me, bro? Alvin Kamara was making fucking Taysom Hill look godly.
Taysom Hill is a god.
Yo, he was making him look godly with all the checkdowns. Come on, stop smoking.
No, we're just sitting here and we're talking like running backs are literally the reason why we're winning Super Bowls.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you have an elite running back, you need to treat him as such. When you have a great running back who is the best at his position right now, there's like right now, the best running back in the league is between two guys, Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor. I'm taking Jonathan Taylor. If you want to take Josh Jacobs, that's fine. But we're looking at two of the best. Stop trying to make it seem like they're bums at their position. I'm looking at it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because you're trying to say, oh, why would you pay all this money to a running back? And I'll ask you, why is it that you're ignoring the fact that when the quarterback is the highest paid player on the team and their cap space is taking over 30% of the salary, only one time has that resulted in a Super Bowl? Why are you ignoring that?
Because
I'm asking you.
Trying to explain, and this is me.
No. I want you to answer the question. Why is that? Why are you not incorporating that into your argument? I'm asking you.
Because I'm trying to tell you right now. At the end of the day, that's not going to change. It's not going to change. The salary is going to continue going up for quarterbacks because of the fact that you just can't pick them up out of nowhere, Pride.
Same thing with running backs.
But Pride, ask Tony. Tony, how quickly did you replace Zeke? Tony left. Tony's watching Down for Love.
This.
But Pride, to that point,
no.
Literally they pay Zeke, and then Tony Pollard comes in, and it's like, yeah, fuck it, we're running with Tony.
But it's a combination though. It's a combination.
And like, I'm not trying to sit here and like have a full blown argument about it. You know what I mean? But it's like,
no, I'm with it.
When you have and I'm fine with it. But it's like when you have those conversations, and it's like, man, bro, like you get to a point, and I think me and you can both agree, it's wild to me that quarterbacks are making $50 million a year off one season. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But when you have that happening and you start looking, okay, well, I have to pay a pass rusher, I have to pay an offensive tackle, I have to pay a wide receiver, and you look at all of the positions, and other than kicker, because they're the only ones that are actually helping your cap, you look at all of that and you say, what's the one position to where I can find their replacement in the 4th round, the 5th round, the 6th round, the 3rd, even the 2nd? You have all these conversations and you say, there's a running back era right now to where you can find one later in rounds and it's no issue at all. And it's like, why would I pay you the highest money possible when we're starting to see their length of tenured is shortening by a large margin? You used to have guys on the same team, Matt Fortes of the world, on the same team for 10 plus years. And now you're at a point where it's like, man, for my example with the Bears, I have gone through, I don't even know how many running backs throughout the last 5 years, because it's just to the point to where it's like, why even deal with it? Why even lock them up just for their knees to get bad, just for this to happen, just for that to happen? At the end of the day, it's just not the same as other positions. They're not going to be around as long. They're not going to have as much production more times than not. So it's like, if you set that market for, and for your example, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, let's even throw in Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, because I still think Nick Chubb is the best running back, one of the best running backs in the league. Not the best, but one of. I think that's safe. But we have those conversations. If we start doing it for them, you have to do it for all of them. And people don't. People don't want to do it. You're starting to pay hella money because it's like, well, this guy made this much money, so I need to make this.
But no, you see, it's weird that the only time people say you got to do it for everyone is when it comes to the running back position, because you don't see McCole Hardman making the same as Devontae Adams. You don't see that. You're not seeing a guy like Jacoby Myers. You're not seeing him making the same as D-Hop. You're not seeing that. To do this false narrative that, oh yeah, well, if you pay this guy, you got it. No. The only time that, like, again, the only guys who are going to these bidding wars are the top of their position for the most part. Outside of a Dak Prescott, everybody is like, yo, I am the best, and I am at the top of my position.
Right.
Period.
So I wanna like for you right now, if you had to choose between, and this isn't maybe not telling the full story, this is just your opinion for your team, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it's paying Justin Fields or Khalil Herbert. You have to pay one of them top dollar. Mm-hmm. For you, it's Mac Jones and Zeke. No,
no,
I don't know who RB1 is.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay, I like Stevenson a lot. Yeah. I had him on fantasy. Love the kid. Got nothing but love.
He's gonna be number one.
But if at the end of the day it came down to, listen, we're either going to extend Mac Jones and make him arguably one of the highest paid quarterbacks, because that's what the market has been, is just continuously going to get higher and higher and higher. I mean, look at the Patrick Mahomes deal. That's a steal right now, to be honest. Like, that is a steal compared to what Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and Mac Jones and all these guys are going to make. But, and God knows what Tua is going to get offered, and he might not even understand it. But it's definitely something to where, if I have to count down, and we'll even throw in Cincinnati again. At the end of the day, they're going to have to pay Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow at the end of this season.
Right.
You look at a guy like Joe Mixon, who's also going to be a free agent. When you put those four in order and you say, hey, who's the guy who's not going to be able to get paid so the other three can? It's like, man, bro, I respect him. You love Joe Mixon, but it's like, dude, we can find his replacement in the second and third round. Are we going to find another Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or even Joe Burrow in the third round? More times than not, it's not going to happen.
Well, I also think there's context that's missing, because obviously of all of them, the three guys, obviously they're all better than Joe Mixon. That's one, and two, they're younger.
You know what I mean? He is the least talented. He probably is the oldest, but it's the sake of argument.
But here's the question. So here's the question I have for you. Insert Jonathan Taylor in there. Now, of those four, who's not getting paid?
I arguably, bro, I still think it's 13.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me it's Jonathan Taylor.
I still think
you're not. You're not, because if you're saying that, then you're just saying that to prove a point.
I genuinely believe it is, because when I look at what they've already accomplished as a unit, as a trio, I mean, you can't find two wide receivers that are wide receiver one caliber players and a QB1 who's top 5 at his position and not just keep rocking with that, versus a running back who already missed half a season last year, has had injuries in college, and you're like, listen, we really don't know what the market is for him 5 years from now, because we've seen, to your point earlier, what happened with Zeke, what happened with a bunch of other guys, what happened with the guys like Alvin Kamara, who before Alvin did all the shit he did in the club or wherever, Alvin was banged up a lot as well. And you started to see more and more of that. So I think at the end of the day, you know, like let's throw that conversation about the Saints back in there, because I think it was a good one between Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara, right? We have that conversation. Like, we can look at Alvin Kamara, right? He's valuable to that team. He is the offense, right? In one offseason, Pride, they threw in Jamal Williams, who had 17 touchdowns last year, for a cheap-ass deal of $10 million. 17 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards rushing last year, and they just replaced Alvin Kamara like that. And in the red zone, might be even more efficient, because that's where Jamal is actually really good. My point isn't that running backs aren't important. It's that there are so much more of them. There are so many more of them than there are at the quarterback position and the wide receiver position, to where you can, and that's a positive thing. There are good running backs everywhere. And I think you can plug in running backs into so many different systems and utilize them to the best of their ability. Byron Scott, one of those guys who we were talking shit about earlier, that I was, not Pride, but you know, he was definitely very useful in that Philly offense behind Jalen Hurts, who's already a very mobile quarterback. Now, if you stick him behind the New England Patriots, I think it's a very different conversation. And I don't think he's going to be utilized very well. I just truly believe that. I think it all matters behind the system, and you can always find a new guy to fit that system. Now, are you going to find another Jamar Chase? Are you going to find another Joe Burrow? Are you going to be able to find another guy like, who could we even throw out there? A Chris Olave or even a Derek Carr? Who knows? It's going to be harder to replace a wide receiver or a quarterback than it is going to be, and even to Kansas City's point, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. Let's throw in Kareem Hunt, because obviously Isaiah Pacheco is ass. And then Travis Kelce. Between those four, when they were in their prime, the one that got the boot, you like what I did there? The one that got the boot was going to always be, forever and always, whether or not he had the issues that he had, was going to be Kareem Hunt. And it's because you're not going to find another Travis Kelce. You're not going to find another Tyreek Hill or another Patrick Mahomes as talented as Kareem is.
Hold on. Don't tell the truth.
Go ahead.
They were going to pay him. Let's not lie now. They were going to pay him until he put his hands on somebody that he wasn't supposed
100%, 100%.
And then that's why they cut him. So
But
don't make it. They were going to pay him.
That's what I'm saying. At that time, 100%. Because what is it? What would you say that happened? 2018?
I want to say, yeah. Let me double check.
I want to say it was because it was the year they went to the Super Bowl. And he didn't.
I want to say it was the first year, I think it was.
I don't think he played in the Super Bowl. Because, yeah, him and Trubisky were drafted in 17. Yeah, it had to be.
Kansas City. So, 18.
It was 18. Yeah, it had to be.
Because he had played, then it came out, and then he got suspended, and then is when they kind of,
right.
They
but
moved on from him.
If you have those four now in 2023, with what we know now and how they've been treating the running back position, who's the fourth guy that doesn't make it? As good as Kareem Hunt is, take away what happened. Take away the elevator thing. Take away the woman incident. Take away everything. Who's the fourth guy?
He's getting paid.
You think
100%?
He's over Tyreek, Mahomes, and Kelsey?
Because at the time, Tyreek Hill was that dude.
Right now, though, you know what I mean? Like, put it in today's age.
I don't. That's again, you're dodging the point. You're not putting context. At the time, Kareem Hunt was better. Of all three of them, who's the worst player of all three? Of all four, who's the worst player?
I would say it's Kareem.
So again, you're trying to get the worst players to cherry pick your argument.
Right.
Now
okay,
again,
hold
on.
Give me one that's good.
Take that out. No, and just like I'm saying, take that out and you put Jonathan Taylor in there. Right. Who's not getting paid? Tyreek Hill.
I still think it's JT.
Again, you're only saying that to prove the point.
I don't. It's just my opinion, and it's just not going to change. Like, I love the run game. I love what it is, but like highest paid, it's just not going to happen anymore, man. It really isn't, and I don't know. At some point, I also don't know what's happening with Tony, but I do have a question though. So if Jordan Love, Tony said, I do have a question though. So if Jordan Love is the guy,
yeah, read it to yourself first. Read it to yourself. There you go. Almost.
Tony, you almost, 3 years I've been doing this.
Almost.
And it was the guy I trusted the most.
And the only reason why I was able to stop you was because I had peeped that earlier. That's the only reason.
I did not. I was reading that at Go. I was very long and written, and I was like, oh, maybe he actually has input. Maybe it's something. I don't know. Wow, Tony, are you coming back, bro? Oh man, but no, I love that argument. I love that we can have those conversations because it's like,
of course,
it's definitely something. I know there's motherfuckers out here that are gonna call me and Pride later and see if we were arguing, but it's not. It's just it is what it is. Like it's a disagreement, and it's a great one because even me being a running back, like Pride wasn't a fucking running back, and you would think I'd be the one that supported the running backs, and I don't, and it's not that I don't. I want you to get paid, but it's like watching what I've been watching. Like, can I throw in? I want to throw in a good one, Pride. I really do.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna spit some Mike Hughes, poverty franchise at you since you're a New England Patriots fan and you've had amazing players throughout the years.
Okay.
And I look at it, bro, and it's like, what have I gotten from having some of the best running backs in the NFL? Matt Forte, Gale Sears, Walter Payton, all these other guys, right? We can go down the list. At the end of the day, what has it gotten me? Nothing, because you don't have a quarterback, and that's really, to me, what it's. I mean, Walter Payton was, a different era, but you had these conversations in today's present age. Would I rather have Walter Payton on the Chicago Bears or Patrick Mahomes? It's like, man, I have to be real about the situation. I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes just because of what the NFL is today. And I, in my 23 years of life, went to one Super Bowl and lost because Rex Grossman was my fucking quarterback. And Peyton Manning was theirs.
I don't know, man. Look, all I'm saying is this, man.
But I hear you.
When you're the best at a position, you deserve to get paid. End of story. If you're the 100%. Best at a position, you deserve to get paid. I'm not going to sit here and try to find excuses for you not to get paid. That's 100%. Not what I'm going to do.
And I think that's the beauty
of
that conversation of what we've been saying is with the CBA and all this other shit of, hey, potentially raising the salary cap. I think if you see the salary cap get risen, I think there's no argument. I think Jonathan Taylor is already paid right now. But it's like, with the way they're structuring the salary cap right now, especially with the dead cap and the luxury tax, I see GMs just being greedy and saying, yeah, we don't care if your position dies out. Like, let's be real about the fullback position. What the fuck happened to being a fullback? It's just gone. I mean, I can name one fullback right now, and it's TJ Watt's little brother, and that's the only reason I know him.
Oh, I know old buddy from the 49ers. Him and the dude on the Rams, Picard.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest though, like fullback really wasn't a position. It was just added to give running backs who couldn't hack it something else to do.
100%. But it's like, you know what I mean though, to where it's like it was still a position that just died. And it's like, not to say the running back position will ever die, but for it to continue to rise, I think we're going to see a halt on that until at least the salary cap gets risen or something along those lines. Because GM, do you see GMs changing this at any point?
Like the salary cap stuff?
No. Like, okay, well, fuck it. Jonathan Taylor is going to be the highest paid running back in NFL history. Do you see anybody doing that at any point in time?
Making him the highest?
Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, who right now, as of right now, which is, what is it, Saturday, August 27th, I don't believe he's particularly happy with where he's at right now.
Well, no, Jonathan Taylor, they gave him to kind of, or not Jonathan Taylor, I'm sorry, Josh Jacobs. They gave him
I believe he's playing.
1 year. It was a 1 year, $12 million deal to shut him up.
Right, but it's like, so Pride with that though, like, do you see GMs just folding at some point and going back to it?
Like paying the running backs?
Yeah, I'm talking, and not even just paying them. I'm talking like NFL record-breaking contracts, like we're seeing with wide receivers, like we're seeing with pass rushers, like we're seeing with quarterbacks.
I mean,
I don't see it happening anymore.
Until
that cap is risen.
Obviously until the cap is risen, but for me, I think when you have disrespected a position in terms of paying them when they want the money, when you've done it for as long as it's been to the running back position, they're gonna continue to do it even post the CBA.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I think they're
gonna find a way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're gonna find a way.
Start paying tight ends, or they're gonna pay or something else. You know
right. I mean? Exactly. Right.
Or they'll make crazy money.
Right. You know, so it's kind of a situation where like I feel bad because, like I said, like if you're good at your job, you should be paid. End of story. I'm not gonna look for an excuse not to pay you. Right now, obviously, as a business, you're gonna want to, go sit down at the table and say, yo, let's negotiate. But I'm not going to sit here and go, all right, kid, boom, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'll give you 4 years, $20 million, shut up and take it. No, I'm going to look at you and be like, all right, look, what do you want? Okay, so you want 4 years, $60 million. All right, look, we can't do that, right? But how about we do something like this? We'll give you this guaranteed base, and then the rest can be incentive based, right? Where most of the money is guaranteed, right? So we'll give you that 4 years, 60, right? And we'll pay you, guaranteed 50, right? Let's do 50, maybe 55 guaranteed. The rest can be incentive based. That way you're still getting your money. And on top of that, we still have some assurance just in case. So that way, if we do pay you this entire contract, hey, we're getting our money's worth.
Right.
If it was something like that, we have a different conversation. Right, but again, you got guys like Saquon trying to I think Saquon got like a year and $10 million, a year for 10, just to kind of put it on the back burner and stuff like that. Josh Jacobs got 1 year for 12. It's like, well, you can pay them that for a year, multiply that by 4, or multiply that by 3.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing?
No, 100%.
But, I don't know football, though.
Hey, I ain't. Me neither, apparently.
Yeah, we don't know football. We don't know what we talk about. We just babbling, right, Mike? We just
100%. But that's why I feel like when we got into it like that, it's like, like you're coming from such a good place, right? And I'm coming from what it is. Like, this is like, I don't know. Like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, my boss would never co-sign this. Like, the owners won't co-sign this. The front office won't co-sign it. It's just unfortunate because you understand at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to sit up here and say that a rookie is going to be better than a current Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, guys like that. But when you have guys in the draft like a Jonathan Taylor, like these guys who we've recently seen come out, Bijan Robinson, all these other names. I mean, fuck. Look at what the look what the Detroit Lions just did. They get rid of DeAndre Swift, trade or sign David Montgomery, Pride. Get rid of Jamal Williams, who just had 17 touchdowns and 1,100 yards. And they bring in Jahmyr Gibbs, who is supposed to be the next Jesus Christ. And it's like they did it for no reason. Like, they didn't have to. They just did it just because. And it's like, it's so crazy to me because we're seeing these running backs come out of nowhere, and you're seeing them come out of the second, the third, the fourth, and it's like, man, bro, it's just like you start to hear that, and you take away the football fans in us, and you just look at it from a business side, and it's like, hey, he's kind of making sense. You know what I mean? And to your point though, like if you're good at your job, you should get paid. But for a GM to be good at his, you got to make a cut somewhere. And if you start seeing every other GM making a cut and not paying running backs to be able to get another wide receiver in the room, or to get another pass rusher, or to get another lockdown corner, like, damn, bro, should I just draft a running back in the 4th round?
So then do the same thing for wide receivers, because you could always find another wide receiver.
100%. But
So I'm like,
generational
so do the same thing with
ones,
them.
the generational ones aren't going to be found. Like, those guys just aren't there. You know what I mean? And that's coming from a fucking Bears fan. I mean, come on.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that because freaking no one said nothing generation about Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now everyone's drooling over him.
No,
so I don't want to hear none of that.
There's definitely those guys. There's definitely those guys.
Nobody thought Justin Jefferson will pop off how he did immediately. Everyone said that he'll pop off in a few years, and it's not as fast as he did. Not immediately in his rookie year. People said he would pop off in like 3-4 years, and he'll find his footing. He immediately popped off.
I felt like he would. I don't know. I watched a lot of LSU with him and Burrow, and you know how I feel about Burrow. But I always felt like JJ was going to be all right. But it's just unfortunate to where he is. But he's fucking me over every single day. But it's definitely something where I think we're not going to see that change anytime soon. And with the guys like Travis Kelce in the world, to your point, we talked about it earlier. Kansas City does not have a legit wide receiver room this season. And you're like, but they still have Travis Kelce, and he's a part of that receiver room. And that's so crazy because back in the day, you know what tight ends really were? It was just guys who blocked and guys who every now and again, you know, you get a good route out of them. But, man, bro, you get a post route, something like that, give and go, whatever. But it's just evolving. Their positions evolving. Quarterbacks are evolving. These running backs just kind of staying the same, but we're seeing them evolve at the same time, but it's just not being valued as high. It's just not being appreciated as much. And it's fucked up and it's wild, but it's like, I don't know what to do about it. Other than to me, it's the CBA. To me, is the only way running backs start to get paid is if you raise the salary cap. The luxury tax needs to get the fuck out. You should just be able to have whoever you want on your roster, and that's truly how I feel about it. But I don't know, man. I don't see this changing anytime soon. Also, Tony did want to apologize to everybody listening. He has broke-ass internet. His internet, Pride, stay with me. His internet is down bad right now.
His internet's in New Zealand right now.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, you know, that New Zealand internet just really down bad right now. But with that being said, Pride, do we have anything else we're going to talk about tonight?
No, I think that's it, bro.
Who's watching Bluey?
Oh, that's my kids.
I love
Bluey. Bluey's a banger. I don't care what anybody says.
You know,
if you don't like Bluey, we can fight. We can box. You said what?
You know, both of them are girls.
Bro, I thought so. I knew Bingo was a girl. I thought Bluey was the boy because I was like, it kind of makes sense because the little one, Bingo, looks like Chili, the mom. So I was like, okay, Bluey looks like Bandit, the dad. Okay, so I thought that's a nice dynamic. Whatever. And it's crazy because like, my wife goes, "Oh, you know, Bluey's a girl, right?" I'm like, "No, really?" I was like, "I thought it was a boy." It's like, "No, it's a girl." And it's crazy because we had Bluey on the background, and I look, and all of a sudden, it's a scene where Bandit and Chili are talking about the kids, and then it was something about how they walk weird, and then it was basically like, "Oh, why does she walk? Why is Bingo? Why is Bluey walking like that? Because she's weird or something like that." And I was like, "Huh."
Why they do her like that though? Why they at her like that?
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm out here screaming, free Bluey. No, but it's kind of funny because like when my son's really into it and he's looking at it, he'll kind of dance along with them, and then when the music stops, he'll stop, and then he'll say whoever's on screen, but it's like mom, dad. Yeah. He'll do that. He really gets into it. And there's that episode where it ends with them like in the street, and there's like a street guy kind of playing some like street instruments or whatever. And it's like the family just dancing in front of everyone. And like my son loves that scene, so he'll just start like randomly dancing. And I'm like, hey, yo, buddy, they don't see you. But I let him live his life.
No, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Pride. I'm gonna do some final thoughts, by the way, tomorrow before we get out of here and give our final thoughts that everybody so desperately cares about. We definitely have an afternoon show tomorrow, as of right now. But yeah, so you can check that out at 12 p.m. Central Time. Afternoon Blitz will be on. Gonzo Sports Room is usually around 2 p.m. Central Time. You can always check that out on the All Sports All Plays Network. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for always being here. If you haven't already, hit that follow button on all social media platforms. Talking about some Facebook, some Instagram, some Apple TV, some Roku TV, some YouTube. Most importantly, Pride. Before we get out of here, baby, what you got?
Just want to let her know, after 3 preseason games, CJ Stroud finally got named the starting quarterback. What a time to be alive. It took 3 games for them to name him that. It is by far the most uninteresting quarterback battle ever. Michael McCorkle-Jones is going to light the league up. LeBron James is the GOAT. I don't give a shit if anyone disagrees. Tom Brady, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is better at football than you, and you know it.
He'll be back by week 8. No, I'm just kidding. I saw him in that Raiders tunnel last night. He didn't look very football.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I also feel like he'll say bump it week 4, sell his stock. Like he'll sell his share and then join the 49ers. So it's kind of like, Tom is, doing Tom things. So, that's why I'm kind of stuck between 4 and 8. Because if it's 8, he'll probably do it for his own team. But if it's like 4, like week 4, he's selling everything. He's like, bump this stuff. He'll sell another one, win another ring, and say, yo, Giselle, shut the fuck up. And he'll say that while he's casting that alimony check that bitch gotta kill him. Yeah, fuck her.
She makes more money than him, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, what? Shoot, Tom is rich and getting richer by her. Come on, bro. Tom finesse the system. Free Tom.
Love to see it. You love to see it, but
you'll love to see it.
With that, PJ Walker just got cut by the Chicago Bears in replace of an undrafted quarterback who did not throw a single touchdown this preseason. So you'll love to see it. Tyson Bagent, welcome to the Chicago Bears. Absolute dog. Very accurate. I will give him that, Pride. Very accurate.
Yep.
Just didn't throw a single touchdown, and I think it's kind of premature, but I'm excited to see it. I know what PJ's ceiling is. I don't know what this kid's is, so I could see the risk and reward. I definitely understand it. You have Nathan Peterman also there. Justin Fields is in good hands. I'm excited to see what the Chicago Bears are going to do. But with that being said, we're out of here. This has been Mike Hughes and our amazing Pride of Prideful Thoughts. Prideful takes, prideful thoughts.
There it is.
We're going to have a lot of different takes. Prideful takes. I'm all over the place. We're 2 hours in. You don't care. No one's here anymore. I'll talk to you guys later. Tony, I'm down bad, baby.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.